Well, welcome everybody to today's episode of Get Mom Ready. You've got Anna and Holly today. How are you, Anna? You doing good?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Anna, you've had to deal with me this week where I don't know what it is. I'm just like I've got lots of energy
You're
especially compared to last
yourself. It's
week.
good.
It is good. Last week I was wiped Thursday and Friday. I had an on-site with a client that was amazing but very emotionally draining. And so then Thursday and Friday, I think Anna, you heard me just be like, "Meow, meow, meow."
Zombie mode, but you're back.
I'm back and
You
I'm
made a
off
comeback.
Thursday and Friday. So my days are packed. So my extrovert self is like, meetings, people, let's go. So, well, we are so excited to have Jess Freeman with us today. I've known Jess, we've known each other for what, over 10? It's been over 10 years at least.
Yeah, I think 10 or 11 years at
Yeah.
this point.
I think we were introduced through our friend Katie Allred, I believe.
Yes, we were. We
Yes.
were.
Ah, so good. And we were in a mastermind, kind of an organic mastermind together for several years. We met once, it was once a month,
It, yeah, once
right?
a month. Yeah, that sounds right.
It's
I
hard to
know.
remember a decade
So,
ago.
no,
It was. I think it kind of fizzled out pre-COVID, I
it
believe.
did. It did. We kind of all started getting busy and then it just kind of stopped.
Yeah. But Jess is the powerhouse behind our websites, our Get Mom, or sorry, not the Get Mom Ready one. Because that's on Substack, but the Ready Network website and the Holly Tate website. And it's been cool because Jess, you've been with us through all the iterations. Like the Holly Tate website has been through several iterations and will still be through iterations. But Jess is also a mom to a adorable little girl and is a business owner. And so today we wanted to really dig into Jess's story. You know, my hope for Get Mom Ready is just that wherever you are in your journey of motherhood and in your journey of work life, that you just hear stories that inspire you to think differently about it or to find affirmation in whatever season you're in. If you're in like a corporate job and you're like, I hate this, it's not working, to hear stories of women who have made the jump to entrepreneurialism. Or if you're on the opposite end and you're like, I really want to figure out the jump to corporate life and whatever that might be, we just love to have conversations about it. So, Jess, welcome.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Well, let's start with I would love to hear your story to motherhood. That's kind of how we always like to start on Get Mom Ready. So share with us what that's looked like.
Okay, so I'm gonna warn you, it's gonna start kind of sad. So we're just gonna go there.
Let's do it.
Um, so
We've had lots of
I
tears on our Get Mom Ready podcast.
So many tears.
Yeah. So I graduated college in 2012, took Just Creatives full time in 2014. So I've been in the business game for quite a while. Just Creatives started in 2011. So this is actually my 15th year, which is crazy. Like
Ah, so cool.
I always, what I've been saying a lot on podcasts this year is that I feel like an internet grandma that I've been doing this for so long, even though it's not that long. But anyways, so took my business full time in October 2014, and which was way earlier than I ever thought it would happen. And 2 months later, my mom was killed in a car accident on her way to work. So it was 2 weeks before Christmas, and obviously kind of turned my world upside down. I was in my first year of entrepreneurship full time. I live in Georgia. All of my family is back home in Kansas and now Texas. And so it was just very, very difficult. I did have church community and small group, but I mean, we'd only been living in the state for 2 years. So it wasn't this deep rooted
Yeah.
community.
Yeah.
And I was 24 at the time. And so I was at that very ripe age where all the friends start having babies.
Yeah.
And I vividly remember being like, yeah, so I'm not going to have babies. Like immediately my brain was like, this is not happening. We don't have a mom, can't be a mom, not happening.
Yeah.
And so, and I was never the girl growing up that was like, I can't wait to be a mom. That never crossed, I was not that girl.
Yeah.
I actually really thought I would never get married. Not because I didn't want to, but like I was not the popular girl. I was not the pretty girl growing up. So I was like, I'm going to be alone forever. Like being married and having kids was not like part of my plan. So my husband and I, he also was kind of like, yeah, whatever. Like I
Did y'all
don't have
meet in college? I actually don't know this story.
Yes, we met not not at college, but I met him working a summer camp during college.
Cute.
And
Okay.
so we dated long distance for 2 years. And then that's why I moved to Georgia was to be with him.
Got it.
So we like I lost my mom. I'm grieving, trying to just survive.
Mhm.
And both of us were kind of like, yeah, I don't think we're gonna have kids.
Yeah.
And then we were like, yeah, like kid-free life. And it was kind of weird. And I look back at it as I think the Lord was just kind of protecting us because, a lot of people, their friends and family are like, when are you having kids? When are you
Oh
having
yeah.
kids? We got none of that.
Really?
Wow.
None of it. And I was not making a big deal about like, we are not having kids. I was not sharing this everywhere. In 2019, we actually decided to foster. We were like, oh, well, we're not going to have kids, but we can still like do something and help. That was very challenging and in some ways very traumatic. And so then we were like, woo, maybe I really don't want kids. Because then at this point, we're kind of on the fence.
So how long did you foster and what was the age?
We first fostered a 5-year-old girl, which is bananas because now I'm about to have a 5-year-old. And we had her for 4 months.
Okay.
And then we took a very long break until that was from January to like first week of May, basically. And then we took a break until Christmas and we had a long-term respite. Typically, if you're not familiar, respite is like a weekend. You're basically kind of like you play aunt, uncle,
Okay.
babysitter kind of vibes. And typically you respite for a weekend, maybe a week if like the family's going on vacation or something. We had him for 2.5 weeks because he was in between placements. And so he spent Christmas and his birthday with us.
Wow.
And I don't actually have confirmation of this, but he went to a group home after. And we believe we were kind of used as like, because you can't go to a group home until a certain age. And so
You're
what
just like the in between.
and they told us like, oh, we're looking for a new placement. Okay, we got him a new placement. We thought he was going to a family and then he was sent to a group home and that was very upsetting for him and for us. So we were like, and we're done. We're done. No more. And so that was he went home. That was January 2020. And
Oh,
then so then 2020 happened. I had two very close friends have a baby in August. And I once again was like, God, like, am I supposed to have a child? Like, what is happening? And me being very type A and like, I need to figure this out. I actually found a workbook on
of
Amazon
course you did.
that
Of
like
course you did.
I don't tell this story very often, but I like went and found like a work because I was like, I don't know if I'm like supposed to have a kid or not.
Yeah.
And Aaron, my husband, was also very like, I don't know. I'm fine either way. And this workbook, the thing that got me, it had like in chapter 8 or whatever, it was like write a letter to the child that you will have and write a
Oh,
letter to the child you will not have, that you're choosing not to have.
oh my gosh.
And it broke me. And I was like, I can't write it. Okay. And I was like I literally got goosebumps just saying that. And
Me
Me,
I
I
too.
got
I got
goosebumps.
goosebumps.
Yeah.
yeah, and it was like write a letter, just I don't remember all the instructions. It didn't have like a ton of details, but it was like that you're deciding that you're not going to have kids. And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well." And
Got the clarity I needed. Thank
uh-huh.
you. Yeah.
And so I go to a friend who's 10 years older than me and or maybe like 8 to 10 years older. She's a mentor and a close friend and she knew I'd been wrestling with this and I was like, I think I'm supposed to have kids. This is terrifying. I don't have my mom. And she looked at me and she's like, first of all, I know you can do this. Second, you also could have one kid.
Mhm.
You could just have one. And it gave me permission that I know I didn't need. But
Yeah, but
in
we as
that
women,
moment,
we like the permission. Yes.
Yep.
and uh, she was like, I think you and Aaron would be really great only child parents. And I
That's
was like, oh,
That
okay. And
opens a whole new world. Never
we're
thought of
like
that.
at
Yeah.
this pizza place having lunch. I am bawling, bawling. That was September. I mean, obviously didn't know it like timing wise. I got pregnant at the end of October, found out in December that I was
oh my
pregnant.
Wow. So
gosh.
things moved quickly after that.
Yes.
It was just like You
I
needed the mental permission because it was going to happen
yes.
anyways. So it's a good thing you did that exercise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because and honestly that story is very me. Like Holly knows this about me. Once I decide something, I'm like, and I'm doing it.
It's happening.
And so obviously we were very lucky that it happened that quickly. Like I knew from friends that it might not happen. And I was like, I'm already 30 and I don't want if this process is going to take a few years or something, like and I was very lucky to have a very healthy pregnancy. I'm type 1 diabetic and was that was also something. I was very terrified to pass on diabetes to my daughter, to have a very complicated pregnancy. But I had a very easy pregnancy, a very healthy pregnancy, like literally kept switching endocrinologist, which if you don't know is the type of specialist that works with diabetics, because the endos kept telling me like we don't need most endos want to see their diabetic pregnant patients every month, every few weeks. Mine kept saying like you're good. I don't need to see you till
Wow.
I'll see you in 3 months. And I was like,
Like,
but I'm
you sure about that? Yeah,
I'm like
I'm a growing human.
I'm pregnant. I want to make sure like I'm being healthy and doing okay. And they were like, you're fine. We don't have anything to tell you. And like
Wow.
it was just like a very like different experience than I really thought it would be. So
Yes.
yeah.
Wow.
How does that work when you're type 1 diabetic? So is it guaranteed that you're going to pass it on? Is it okay, so it's just
No,
genetic. Like you could or you could not.
could or could not. It's
Okay.
actually a higher chance if the father is diabetic,
Oh,
which
Huh.
is right. So being the mom, she has a lower chance
okay.
of
Wow.
becoming diabetic. There's now tests you can do to kind of see if, like, I could test her and see if she has like the gene or whatever. I have not done that because I don't know if my anxiety can handle it.
Totally. So
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 type
they
1.
weren't at birth, they weren't like, okay, we want to know right now if she is or isn't. Like it doesn't matter as a young child
no,
or
so she could literally, she could have, there's all the scenarios in the world. Just like me, neither of my parents were diabetic. My maternal grandparents were,
okay.
but they were type 2. And so,
Wow.
but like, yeah, I was the first one outside of my grandparents in my entire, and I have 8 aunts and uncles on one
Wow.
side. I was the only one that was diabetic. And I was like, really? Me? Out of
Yeah.
all these people?
Thank
Cool.
you.
But yeah, I mean, she could have been born diabetic. She could develop it this year, in 3 years, like,
Okay.
or never.
Yeah.
It just is completely up to chance and
Mm.
genetics.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
wild. Go ahead,
So
Anna.
how did you navigate that surrender? Because
With
you
the
had
diet.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, with wondering if you were going to pass this on to her. Once you found out you were pregnant, I'm sure that was one of the first things you were
Yeah.
thinking. And to her being born and even now, how do you navigate that?
Um, One, I think we're actually doing the research and seeing like, oh, it's a higher chance if it's him and not me. That
Mhm.
kind of helped with just the percentage. The other part is knowing, well, I mean, she has the best advocate in her back pocket if it happens.
Can we just
Like,
pause? That is so, I don't even have words for how much I love what you just said. And that is so beautiful. Like, I love that you have that and believe that in confidence because we've talked
yeah,
about this a few times in this podcast where as a new mom 2 years in, I'm still struggling with like, I don't trust myself. My husband will be like, what does your mom intuition say? And I'm like, I don't know what's intuition or what's anxiety.
Yes,
same.
totally.
But no, but you were just like, she has the best advocate in her back pocket as her mom. Like, that is so cool. I love that you just said that you can walk in that for her, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think part of that stems from my mom because my mom was like the best advocate. I literally have memories of my mom standing. Now, my mom taught at the school, my grade school,
Oh, that's
and she was the librarian. She was the librarian at my grade school and high school. So I was a teacher's kid. But I have memories of her standing in the hallway, like yelling at the lunch lady.
yeah.
She she fought for me. She all throughout high school, like, yes, both my parents gave me a lot of independence and taught both my sister and I how to be independent and speak for ourselves and all that kind of stuff. But also, my mom would go to bat for me. And she'd come home and be like, so and so told me that they saw you buying Reese's out of the vending machine. And I was like, maybe I did, maybe I didn't.
I'll
And
never
also, that
tell.
person's not my friend anymore.
Like, I'm not telling. But like one time, like I had super strict meal plans for lunch in grade school. And one time I ate this is not an exaggeration. I ate a single French fry off of a classmate's plate. The lunch monitor saw me, reported me, got called into the principal's office. Like, and I'm a type A, almost valedictorian. Being sent to the
Yeah.
principal's office is my worst nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah.
And was like scolded. And they, whatever, I don't remember exactly what they said to my mom, but my mom was like, she was probably hungry.
Oh.
And so, of course, she made adjustments and whatever. But I think that is one of the biggest things that I remember about my mom is her advocating for me and my dad too. But my mom worked at the school, so
Yeah.
she took that role. And I think that was also something that I had a lot of friends remind me when I would talk about my fear of passing on diabetes. They were like, literally, who else would be? I mean, you would be great anyway, but you have been through it because I was diagnosed at the age of 3. So I'm like, I've literally just lived it my entire
Yeah.
life. And so that was part, I think, of the surrender is just knowing I can help her through it. I do know because I still do get fear of if she's going to the bathroom a lot. I'm like, oh no, it's happening.
Yeah.
My anxiety is like, it's happening. It's
Yeah.
happening. And Aaron's like, she just drank a lot of water today. It's fine.
Yeah.
In her town. But I imagine if I get that news, I am going to be curled up in bed bawling for like a week because
Yeah.
I know what comes with all of that. But yeah, it's just, I think it comes down to knowing I can help her and also knowing there have been a lot of good things that have come from living with diabetes. And so knowing that God can redeem this awful thing. And even though I would not wish it on my worst enemy, like it can still be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's still anxiety about it though.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Such a
Yeah.
good question, Anna. And thank you for your vulnerability there, Jess. Because, Anna is a medical mom with a daughter where she's in and out of hospitals and doctor's appointments and all the time. And so it's really neat to hear your perspective as a daughter who grew up with a diagnosis and how you have navigated that. And then your perspective as a mom. It's so cool. I love how
Yeah.
Yeah.
all that connects here on Get Mom Ready.
I know. Amazing.
So awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so I also want to go back in. So 2 years out of college was when you decided to be an entrepreneur full time. Why did you make that decision? What led you to that?
So, like I said, I'd started Just Creatives in college, was doing it on the side, and I did not. I grew up in a very tiny town with no stoplights, like
Oh,
no
yeah.
no Walmart, no Dollar General, nothing.
Wow.
And so entrepreneurship was not even on my radar. And it was actually in 2013 that I found a Facebook group of freelancers. And I was like, wait, I'm sorry, you all are 20, 25, and you work for yourself. And I was like, this is a thing? Like that's how naive I was. And so I was like, well, maybe when I'm 45.
Yeah.
That was my benchmark. When I'm 45, I guess it's like when people make that joke about like I need an adultier
Oh
adult.
yeah,
Yes. Yes.
1000%. I
That
still
was
feel that way. I'm
I was
like,
about
I'm
to
not
say,
the
I still
adult.
feel like that all the time.
Yeah.
And so that was when 45. So at the time, at the beginning of 2014, I started working at a small, we'll call it agency. That could be a whole other podcast. It was the boss, her assistant, and me and another designer. So it's 4 people.
Wow.
We were in person. The boss wasn't there. She was in Europe for half the time. We didn't have any projects. And
Oh,
so I my assumption is that it was a tax write-off for her
mm,
because she was also owned property and did all, and so I'm like, she just had all these tax write-offs.
yeah.
I also, this is another thing that I feel like, as horrible as that 9 months was there, I feel like God was like, I'm gonna put you here, and then you get to just work on Just Creatives because that's what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Like
phenomenal.
I had nothing to, when I say we had no projects, I mean we had no projects.
That is wild.
You're
Like
just
I
getting
would
paid to
just
build your own business.
and
Yeah.
yeah,
fine.
and I would just hide the browser if my boss actually showed up to work, and then I'd be like, do do do. And so I was just really miserable and trying to find other jobs, and I kept getting shut down and shut down. And at some point, I started saying, I wish I could just do Just Creatives full time. And my husband, who's been my biggest cheerleader from day one, was like, I think, like, what do we need to do? Like, how do we need to make this happen?
Wow.
And the mistake I made was I wasn't actually looking at my numbers. And so finally in August or September, I finally was like, okay, like how close am I to being able to replace my income?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like how much more do I need to make? Do I need to raise my prices? Oh, 6 out of the last 9 months, I've made more than I'm making at the agency. Not just like
Wow.
meeting, but making more. And I was like, you're telling me I could have left 6 months
Yeah.
ago?
But hey, you had that double income for a
I
while.
did.
Seriously.
And so, yeah, so then I actually went in to quit and got fired on that day. So,
Really?
What?
yeah,
Like she fired you before you could quit?
yes.
She probably had a feeling. She probably was like knew
I
it was
think she,
coming.
yeah, I think she did.
She
So,
wanted to be the one to have the last word.
but I got severance. So,
Oh,
Wow.
like,
win-win.
yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it surprisingly worked out really well.
Yeah. That's
Okay,
awesome.
so Holly, I know you have probably like
No,
so many
please go for it.
questions, but
No, I love this because you know me, I could talk for days. I like hearing your voice more than mine. Yes.
I'm thinking because I have a number of really talented friends that are just doing their normal job, but I'm like, no, you don't understand. There is a market out there where you could do what you love to do and you could quit your job, but there's just something holding them back. I mean, all the things holding them back that hold all of us
I'm
back
I'm
are,
laughing because I'm pretty sure you and I had that conversation literally a year ago, Anna Baker.
yeah, myself included. Okay, I'll admit.
But you did it. You did it.
Case study A. I did it. Yeah. And I think so many people just feel like, oh, that's what everyone's doing. They're all just quitting their jobs and becoming party planners, or they make, like whatever their little skill is that they love to do. And they're like, there's just not room for me. I don't know how I'm going to get business, blah, blah, blah. Okay. What do you say to those people? Because I'm like, I don't really know what to say. I haven't necessarily done that. I took a leap of faith, but I had a little bit of a backup plan. Some of these people would be taking a full leap of faith. And I'm like, well, I really don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. And I also want to clarify, I didn't have clients on retainer. I wasn't booked out.
It
I
was like
literally,
all project based,
it was
right?
all
Like
projects.
we need this logo or like we need these slides or whatever it might
Yes.
be.
It
Okay.
was it was very project based, and literally was like, okay, I'm going full time. I hope I have some work in a few weeks.
Yeah.
So what I would say is one, there's truly so much work out there. Like I'm a web designer. There are a bajillion web designers.
Yeah.
Some way better than me, some at the same level, some beginners, like some that only work on this platform and that platform. There's so much opportunity, even though sometimes this online space can feel very competitive and like that person always gets the projects or, like whatever. And then I would say when I quit or got fired, like I went in with the mindset of quitting.
Intention of quitting. Yeah.
I remember my dad saying like, well, as long as you're willing to like put in the work and if you need to go work at Starbucks. And I
Exactly.
Mm.
and I was just like, yeah, I will go work at Starbucks. I was actually going to do some contracting for my sister's company. She works in corporate. And then their guidelines changed and I was not allowed to. And so I that was kind of my backup plan. And then she never sent me work. And I still hold it against her in a joking way. Like, you were supposed to be my safety net, and luckily I didn't need you.
Yeah.
But I feel like life is too short to do work that you don't love or enjoy or that doesn't fulfill you in some way. And I want to show my daughter that you can do both. You can be a mom and you can do work you love. And that is something else my mom showed me. Like, she was not just a school librarian that was doing her job. She loved it. She used to read the fourth grade books so that she could tell the kids what the book was about and if it was good or not.
So awesome.
Like,
So awesome.
and she, again, we were at a small school, so it wasn't like she had to remember 600 kids, but she would be like, hey, Daniel, I remembered you asked about, I know you like this other book about cowboys.
Yeah.
And like, here, this one is like, we got a new one. And I think I pulled it aside for you. Like,
Oh,
her and my dad would spend their own money getting new books for the library because, of course, they didn't have like a big budget. I literally remember one year her budget was $50, and she was like, "Well, we're spending 500 of our own." So,
Wow.
like,
That's
so
so cool.
I saw my mom doing both, being a mom and doing work she loves. And I just like life is too short. And I know that sounds super cheesy, but I'm like, I lost my mom. I have a chronic condition that, fun fact, that's not fun. My life expectancy is 13 years less than the average adult
No way. I did
because
not know that.
yeah. And like because of how long I've had diabetes, I have a 100% chance of developing retinopathy, which can lead
Wow.
to losing your vision. So like
wow.
I don't know what my life is going to look like in 25 years. And
Yeah.
so part of why I really focus on doing work I love and also that like my husband and I make sure and travel and do really fun things is because I'm like I'm very able-bodied right now and I don't know if I will be in
Yes.
20, 30 years, you know.
So good.
And
Yeah.
so for me, part of it's just that perspective. But I also, especially for the moms, or I mean, I feel like probably it's mostly women who listen to this, something that I've heard a lot of in the last few years, and there's like research to back this up, is women do more good with their money.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Like
Yes.
money is better in the hands of women, and we give back more and we invest more. And I'm a little bit of a feminist sometimes, and so I'm like, more women in
Yes.
power, please. More women in charge. And so I just think like we need more women's voices and more women leaders and business owners out there because like we do more good, and I think that's important.
1000%. Ah,
Oh.
preach. So good, Jeff. Okay, we have like 10 minutes left because I talked way too long before we pressed record about business strategy because that's what I could always talk to you about. There are a couple of practical things that I want you to share with folks. So, one is your husband and you, I follow you on Instagram, obviously, and you guys did this before you had your, tell me your daughter's name again, if you're comfortable saying it on, but I also understand if you don't want to
I
say it on.
usually don't share it.
Okay, no worries.
So, okay.
don't.
So before
Yeah.
you had your daughter, and then I've noticed you guys now have done this as a family. So you do like family dates
Mm-hmm.
and you go through the alphabet. And I just think
Yes.
that is so, I've always wanted to do, Elliot and I've been married for, I mean, it's gonna be like 13 years this year. We've never done it, but I always have it in my head of like, I want to be like the Freemans. So talk to people about that because I think it's such a, it's like who you are. You're so structured in the best way. Like it allows you to be creative because you have
Mm.
structure.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, tell everybody about that
Yeah.
because I feel like that's a really good practical tidbit we can take from how you live your life.
Yeah. So it was actually kind of an assignment from a marriage counselor. So
Really? So cool.
we just needed to like this again, this is pre-daughter. We needed to get back to spending time with each other and being intentional. And so it was actually my husband's idea to start dating through the alphabet. And so what we did was we had some guidelines. Each date had to be two locations.
Cool.
Wow.
It could be dinner and ice cream. Like it didn't have to be anything major. We had to like kind of dress up. I think if I remember correctly, jeans weren't allowed,
Wow.
or maybe they were. I don't remember. I'm like there was something like we actually had to.
But like feel put together, like present
Like
Yes.
yourself
look
well.
nice, feel
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we would do like A was like we didn't go to Applebee's, but like Applebee's and whatever. And sometimes it was an activity, sometimes it was a restaurant. So I remember we did frisbee golf and Friends Grill, which is like a local
Cute.
restaurant. And then also for the majority of the date, we do that letter of questions or the let questions start. So we would be like French fries or frozen custard or
Cute.
like the Friends, like the TV show or Family Guy. Um, and so it
That's
was a
awesome.
really good way for us to, because again, at this point, we'd been married 8 years, didn't have kids. And so it was like, it was easy to just sit there and talk about work all the time.
Yeah.
And so it was like, yes, they're kind of silly questions, but inevitably it would lead to something. If you're like, oh, Friends or Family Guy? Oh, well, Friends because I've never seen Family Guy. What do you like? Wait, you've not seen Family Guy? And we're like, well, no, because my parents wouldn't let me. And then we'd
Yeah.
like go off on this whole conversation, whatever. And so yeah, we just did that, and then we started doing it with our daughter. And it's taken, I mean, I think we're on year 3 and we have not even made it through half the alphabet.
That's so
Um,
cool.
I
but
know. I love it.
yeah, so those rules are much looser. It was more like, here, let's like make a list of places we want to take her. And but she does love once I think it was once she turned 4, she started catching on to like, oh, date nights and I want to go on date night. And then she had daddy daughter date night for Valentine's Day. And then that really kicked off like, I want to have date night. And so then we do
Oh,
family date nights.
So cute.
Yeah.
It's so good. I just love, yeah, again, it's a structure that leads to creativity,
Yeah.
which is so good. And then the other, I also thought of another thing if we have time. The other thing that I really admire about you is you are very specific about, you have very clear boundaries in your business. So a
Hmm.
couple of those that I've just been able to observe is like you have very clear revenue, what I would call revenue boundary. I'm going to let you agree or disagree with that. You also are very clear about your workload. Like,
Hmm.
so like my wiring, you know me well enough to know I'm like, I'll say yes to anything and everything, you know? And but you are like, nope, I'm full. And I'm like, what? So you are so good about that. You're also really good about like having clear packages or offerings. And again, in my business, I feel like I'm, throwing spaghetti against the wall and it's like, well, what am I feeling today? Here's my offer for today, but you are very disciplined in your offers. So I would love for you to just like unpack that. Like, is that just who you are and your wiring? Is that coaching you got from somebody and that's just what you've always done? Or is it like, has motherhood shaped you creating or, standing firm in those boundaries or changing them a little bit? I would just love to hear you talk about that because
Hmm.
it's inspiring to me.
Yeah, I think it's a few things. I think some of it is coaching that I've received. Some of it is like I tried it at one point and then it realized it worked. And so then I just kept doing it. And some of it is how I'm wired. So, to start with like the revenue boundary, what Holly is referring to is I'm very much like, I don't want to hit $1 million. I don't like, right now, I'm like, if I could hit like 400K, I think I'd be good. And then
Mhm.
I'm like, I'm good. That's it. Now, if I land on some miracle idea that makes me $1 million, sure.
Not going to say
I'm not
yeah.
gonna say no. So if someone has like $1 million contract they want to send
no.
over,
Yeah.
sure. But for me, it's like I've heard so much and seen so much what is required to reach 1 million, and I don't want that. I don't want to lead people. I'm a creative. I want to actually do my work. I don't want to be a manager. And so
Mhm.
for me, that's where that comes in is like I didn't start this to like build a legacy and create an empire. I've been talking to this coach and she's like, "Well, you need to have like your business like set up to sell." And I'm like, "I don't really care. Like, I'll probably just close up shop Sunday and be like, bye." Like, I'm
The
like, I
email
mean,
address is no longer valid.
yeah,
Like,
I'm
Yeah.
yeah.
like, I mean, like maybe I'll attempt to slip, but like that's just not in my game plan. And so that's like that piece of it. For the packages, when I started, I was very just like a la carte. And then that was something I learned, I don't know, from someone or in a course or something. And packages for me sell much easier than just a la carte. Which I mean, for website, I mean, like one of my packages, quote unquote, is literally a website. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
so I'm like, I don't know if that's really much of a package.
But a
It's
lot
just
goes into that. Like, there's
yes,
a
and it's
Yeah.
lot that
clearly
goes into that.
and there's clearly defined boundaries. So I guess in that sense,
Yes, and
like
you have a very clear as someone Anna and I both been through your process for the Writing
Yeah.
Network website. And yes, it's very dialed in. It's like it's not just, we go back and forth a million times. It's like it's going to be these 2 days. Here's what it's going to look. It's very organized and super
yes.
clear.
Yes. And not to toot my own horn, but I get lots of compliments on that. Like
Yeah.
that it's very organized, you know what to expect and those kinds of things. I just finished a client and she's worked with I think 3 or 4 different web designers and she was like, "You are top tier." Like
Oh, yes, you
this,
are.
she's like, I've worked with some that were okay, they were fine, but this was top tier. And I was like, thank you.
Yeah,
and
it's so
I
true.
and I did ask her, I was like, can I ask like what the other experiences were? Like I hear a lot of stories online, but and I hear sometimes often that like, oh, you were way better than previous, whatever. And I'm just never I don't want to be gossipy. And so I'm
Yeah.
like, can you just tell me? And it was basically just like, you actually stuck to your timeline. You told me what was expected. I knew what was coming, like all of these things. And I was like, well, that feels very basic. I feel like that's like
Oh,
the,
it is not. It is
I
not.
know.
Yeah,
And
it's like the process almost matter. Like feeling clear and feeling like you get what you paid for is more important than the overall outcome sometimes because it's like,
yes,
okay, at least I got what I paid for now. And then I can go make tweaks on my own.
yeah,
But I knew what to do along the process. And I wasn't sitting here spending all this energy worrying about the next step. It was just done. Yeah.
yes, yeah. And then you asked about saying no to things and boundaries. So I don't know if you meant no to capacity or no to just type of projects or both, because I do say
Oh,
no.
whatever you want to share. Yeah. Well,
I
and
say,
you also are really, I think, too, about your work hours, right? Like during the
mm-hmm.
day. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm pretty strict on, I basically work like, well, now it's not 8 to 5 because it's 8 to 2.
School, right? Yeah.
But that'll soon adjust back to like 8 to 4, 8 to 5. Um, and yes, I take like lunch breaks and whatever, but I just, even though, yes, we have all this time freedom as entrepreneurs, I enjoy what I do. And I'm like, this is just when I work. I just
Mhm.
work 8 to 5. I don't work Fridays typically, because my husband doesn't work Fridays. And so for 9 or 10 years now, neither of us have worked Fridays. Now, that doesn't mean I never work Fridays, but it's really only if like absolutely necessary. But yeah, I definitely that's something that happened over time, being okay saying no to things, but it's another instance of I'm not willing to say yes to this just for money or because like it's going to mean I'm missing bedtime, I'm staying up till midnight, I'm not going to the park, like whatever. I'm just like, you can wait until my next availability or you can go find someone else.
Yeah.
Like I that's
Yeah.
just going to be what it is.
Which is
Um,
amazing
and
Hmm.
to
I
have that mindset.
and
Yeah.
also very lucky to be able to turn down money. Like I know that's a very privileged take to be able to just be like, just say no. um,
But I would say I hear you saying luck and privilege, but also you have put in the work. You've done this for 15 years
yes.
and you've been very specific and done the work to get clarity on what you want your life to look like. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
not lost on me that you are a designer by craft, but the way that you approach your life, like you've designed your life and
Mm-hmm.
the way that you want it to look. And that's why I
Yes.
wanted you to share that because I want moms to hear like one of our philosophies here at Get Mom Ready is to like put yourself in the driver's seat to design and rearrange the life that you want
Mm-hmm.
so that not out of a selfish ambition or anything like that. That can sound so like live the life you want, you know? Like no, so that you can be the mom that you want. You can
Yes.
be the spouse that you want to be. You can be the friend that you want to be. But if we are just sitting back and letting life happen or our boss take over the reins of our life, then we're burned out and worn out and we're not showing up the way that we want to be. And so I just love that you've designed your life first and
Mm-hmm.
work is a component of that.
Yes,
So,
absolutely. And as you were talking, it reminded me of, I remember seeing, I think it was like a TikTok about parents get most irritated usually when it's the child interrupting our own thing, the thing we want
Yep.
to, like, oh, I want to be scrolling on TikTok or like I want to be, and I've noticed, yes, if I'm trying to like wrap up an email or if I'm trying, and I'm like, hold on,
mhm.
and so having those firmer boundaries lets me be the mom that I want to be and not be like, I have to like do this thing.
That
Yes.
is such a good practical example too, because it's so
Hmm.
true, but it just helps create a reason for those boundaries in such a true way.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. And I'm not perfect at it. Like
Of
you
you
course.
do it.
literally, like the example of hold on, I'm doing this email. Like I do that. I don't want to say often, but it's not that she never hears that. You
Yeah.
know, when she filled out the little Mother's Day sheet, it was like, what does your mom do for work? Emails.
Uh, you're
I'm
like, yeah, that is kind of true.
like,
Yeah.
it's not wrong.
Okay, we are past our time. Jess, do you have a couple minutes? Because I have one more
Yeah,
question.
of
Okay,
course.
my last question for you is, it has been so fun to watch you go on like a style journey over the past
Mm,
several months. And I would love, because you and I haven't, I've messaged you and been like, I love seeing these stories and stuff. But I feel similarly like 2 years in, and I feel like I'm trying to figure out what is my style? How do I want to present myself? My body feels and looks different. Like, whatever. So I would love to hear what inspired you to go on that journey. How have you been on that journey? What did you learn through it? And just kind of share that with people who haven't followed it on Instagram like me.
yes. So I've never ever been a fashion person. The joke for so long was just like, I'm a t-shirt and jeans girl.
Mhm.
Because literally I have so many t-shirts, like just t-shirts on t-shirts. Um, and when turned 35, I was like, for my birthday, I'm gifting myself a working with a stylist because not because I wanted to become this like couture fancy person. And I was nervous, and actually in the discovery call with her, I was like, the thing is I want to look and feel like and dress better,
Mhm.
but still be me. And I don't know
Yeah.
if that's possible.
Yeah.
And she was like,
Yes.
100%. I was like, because I'm not, the thing is, and part of why because I wanted to do it for so long. And I was like, but I work from home. Like,
Mhm.
people only see my shirt.
Yeah.
Like, and so I was like, it's kind of pointless. I feel like it's a waste of time and money. And I don't know. It was just one of those things about turning 35. I don't know, like getting
Yeah.
older. And so I decided to hire a stylist, and it was one of the best experiences, not just like the literal experience of working with her, but just so like eye-opening. I did not realize like how transformative it was going to be for me to go through and actually like find, because I've been a bigger girl my whole life. And so that's part of my style issue is I've always been like, well, this doesn't fit me. I can't wear
Yeah.
the trends. I can't shop at the same stores as my classmates. And so I was like, I think that's why I resorted to t-shirts and jeans. And she really showed me like, oh, it's just shopping at the right store, which now I'm just kind of average, medium, large build. Like, so it's not like I have to shop anywhere special. It was just finding the right type of clothes that I feel good in and finding the colors. And so it was like going on Pinterest and just pinning things that you like. And I noticed I'm pinning a lot of things that are very colorful.
Yes, that has
Oh.
been one of the
And
most fun parts of seeing. It's like so colorful and it's
and
so fun.
like if you had seen my closet like a year and a half ago, it was just like 17 black t-shirts,
Mhm.
2 red shirts, and some like green shirts. And now I'm like, here's some orange pants, and I have like green pants, and like, I mean, when
Yes.
I tell you that I was so bland and like, and I'm not saying that to be like derogatory towards anyone. I'm just saying like it was very basic jeans, jean shorts, like maybe a pair of black shorts.
Yep.
Um, and it was just really fun to figure that out. And there were definitely things that I tried on that I was like, no, this feels weird. And what was most funny to me is that I so often to my stylist would be like, but what am I allowed to wear with these? And she'd be like, why do you keep saying allowed?
Ugh.
Oh.
Yes. Because
And
again, we as women, we have to have
mhm.
permission.
She's like, you can literally wear whatever you want. And I'm like, but tell me what looks best.
Yes.
And she'd be like, okay, so I get what you're trying to say. Like you can wear these, you can wear this, whatever. If you want to dress it up, you can wear that. But yeah, it was really, really interesting. And I've gotten a lot of compliments on it. And people are like, you do still seem just like you, but
Mhm.
it's like brought out more fun and like, yes, obviously your outfits are cuter.
Yeah. And I feel like
um,
there's the confidence. I feel like
yes.
I've noticed that. Yeah. There's like, it's joyful and fun and this confidence that you're carrying yourself
Yes.
with.
Yeah. And it truly, again, it's going to sound very cheesy. Getting dressed used to just kind of be like, whatever, I'm just picking out
Like
yoga,
utilitarian.
like leggings and a t-shirt. Here you
Yep.
go. And now I'm like, I don't know. I want to wear the pink ones. Or do I want to wear the green pants? Oh, I don't know. What do I want to wear today?
So
That's
fun.
awesome.
So, yeah. But also, when you were talking about the mother's intuition and whatever,
Yes.
I remember sitting on my bed crying and being like, I don't think I have mother's intuition. And my sister was like, you don't even have the baby yet. Like, like you can't even. And I was like, I don't think I have it. And she was like, you're like, she's not here yet.
I
And
totally relate to that. Yep.
and and for several months, I was like, yeah, I don't think I have mother's intuition. And I realized I expected mother's intuition to be really loud. And for
Mm.
me, I feel like it's also the Holy Spirit,
Yes.
whether it's a mother thing or spiritual thing or both. But both the Holy Spirit and mother's intuition are very, very quiet for me. And it's
Mm.
like those little nudges that when I've learned that if I even the thought crosses my mind of like, maybe I should take her to the doctor, like that is mother's intuition. That's not just, I mean, sometimes it might be
Over anxious
anxiety. Yeah.
woman. Yeah.
I mean, I do have a lot of anxiety. I'm medicated,
You girl.
but
Yeah. No. Yeah.
but it's like I mean, there were times that I was like, I think I need to take her to the doctor. And Aaron is like, if you, okay, if you think she had double ear infection, like I
Man.
remember that was when she was like 1 or 2. And I was like,
Yep.
that was my intuition. Just
Yep.
being like, your child needs help. So,
I love
um,
that. I love that it's quiet for you. That is
yeah.
such a good, 'cause same thing. I'm like, well, isn't that how we want everything in life? It's like, where's the burning bush? You know what I mean? Which I need to go back and look, but I think I've heard that like we think of the burning bush as like a clear signal. But in back in that day, that would have been a normal thing. Like it was hot, it was in the desert, it was, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like that wasn't as radical as we think. Like, yeah, for us to see
Hmm.
a burning bush would be super weird.
Yes.
I think I heard that one time that it was
Oh,
like,
nice.
isn't that
Yeah.
crazy? So anyway, yeah, it's so good.
It
Oh,
is. It's fun.
Jess. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your story in so many different capacities as, a daughter, your experience as a daughter, your experience as a mom, as a business owner, and even figuring out your identity in this life as like a post 35 mom and a business owner and entrepreneur and all of the things. I'm always inspired by you, and I know everybody who's listening is going to be as well. So, one thing I also didn't say, so yes, you're the founder of Just Creatives, but also of the Ordinary Business.
Hmm.
So tell everybody where they can find you, where they can follow you, where can they get in touch with you?
Yes. So obviously you're listening to this podcast. So if you want to listen to the Ordinary Business podcast, it's very basically the Ordinary is for the people who are kind of like mid-level experienced business owners who don't care about having a team of 20 making $1 million. We're just like, I want to do good work and work with cool people and like just make my business better and not bigger. So you can find the podcast and then you can find me justcreatives.com, theordinarybusiness.com. I'm on Instagram, Threads. I'm basically everywhere. I
You're
think.
like famous on Threads, by the way. I was telling Anna, I was like, I don't know. Yeah, we were talking about like a cohort thing earlier. That should be a topic because you have figured that out. I'll go to your Threads. I'm like, holy cow, she has like hundreds of likes. I don't even understand Threads,
I
but I get
know.
all of your notifications and I read them, and it's like all the likes. So
Okay, well, thank
yeah,
you.
seriously. All right,
Yeah.
Jess, you're the best. Thanks everybody for listening. Go to getmomready.com to subscribe so you can get our email alerts when we drop all of our episodes and additional resources. Like last week, I told this hilarious and awful story about my Mother's Day and how my daughter fell and hit her head in the parking lot and everything I learned through that. So go to getmomready.com where you can read that and get our drops when we put out episodes each week. Thanks, Jess.
Thanks.
Thank you, Jess.